I'm Corbett Wall with USDA Market News, here with your weekly feeder and stocker cattle market summary for the week ending June the 27th. Calves and yearlings $4 to $10 higher this week on unbelievably good demand, incredibly active trading, and most of your gains was seen on 6-weight cattle. The least gain was seen on cattle weighing over 800 pounds, but just absolutely incredible what these cattle are bringing right now. The bell ringers that I quote this week really sound like tall tales, but in Bassett, Nebraska on Thursday this week, they had 500 to 515 pound steers bring 304 to 310. So we surpassed another milestone, reaching a whole nother set of numbers this week that was not even a dream in anybody's wildest dreams just not that long ago. Some more high sales were seen early in the week on Monday and Tuesday on the Northern Livestock video out of Billings, Montana. And a lot of those producers up there are preserving the all-natural status of those cattle and adding value to them that way. The stick-out sale on the video this week to me was 3 loads of 850 pound steers for current delivery. They come from the Greet Ranch in Ten Sleep, Wyoming, to weigh 850 on this week's delivery at 236. These cattle are all natural and non-hormone treated, but still they're just cattle and they're going to be eaten, and it's just beef, but there's some added value there, and maybe some of you guys ought to look at it. Something else that was noticed on that video is these Montana and Wyoming ranchers are aggressively increasing the size of their herd. Almost every consignment was seen on there. There was a whole lot less heifers than there was steers, and in fact only 29% of sales were heifers, and on almost every consignment the only heifers that were available for sale were the second cut of heifers. So they're keeping a lot of those best heifers back and growing their herds. We've finally seen enough improvement in the pasture conditions. They had a lot better pasture conditions last year and were able to conserve that, and now this year they're able to grow their herds a little bit more. So, you know, give this thing another 3 years or so and we're going to start building these numbers back up. Also, that Northern Livestock video, a very rare occasion to see, especially a multi-day video like that, have 100% sales, which is really saying something, because normally you'll get a few producers that are not happy because their neighbor's cattle brought a little bit more, and then they want to pass those cattle out and shop them around a little bit. But not in that sale. 100% sales, no POs. Nobody just appraising the value of their cattle. We're seeing now that we're bound to be getting close to the top of this thing. You start talking around to producers and buyers and the like, and you start seeing them be more fearful that this thing's going to drop one of these days, because we know it's going to. It's got to. Everything that goes up's got to come back down. And so we're starting to wonder where that's at. It's not clear how many dollars we are from the top, but we're bound to be not that many weeks away. In just a few weeks, when we get into July, we're going to see a lot of strings of yearlings start coming off of the double stock pastures, like in the Flint Hills and the Osage. When those cattle start filling up some of those empty pens in the feedlots, it's just naturally going to back off some of this demand just a little bit, even though they still want as many cattle as they can get in there, because these feedlots can't make money with empty pens. But we're bound to be getting in there. At the same time we do that, we're going to start getting into the dog days of summer where it's really hot, which is annually a time when the market's just a little bit sour. And also when we get back from 4th of July, there's going to be a little bit of hangover on the consumer beef demand, which also is going to pressure the market. Whether it's enough to douse out this fire from this feeder cattle deal remains to be seen, but still, at some point, this thing's going to back off. It doesn't appear to show that it's going to go straight down like a rock, but it's bound to level off a little bit. We've learned some lessons through this run-up. Markets can blast through previous records and keep going. They don't just have to bust through, post a record, and then go right back down into the range, which is what we're used to seeing. And also, a lot of these guys that are producing feeder cattle and grazing cattle, that protected their risk. A lot of them wish they would have just bought an option rather than make a hedging position. If they would have just bought a put, they would have been out their premium, forgot all about it, and still stood all that gain. But a lot of them are getting tired of getting calls for more margin money. And so your options are good available risk protection there. Fats broke all-time records highs this week. In fact, the Southern Plains blew by their all-time record high from late March by $4 a hundred. And fats in the 5-area region on a direct basis sold $4 to $6 higher, from 154 to 156. That's way past the all-time record high, which was just a pinch over 150. $7 higher dressed at 245, and the dress market's dragging just a little bit right now. Your slaughter cows on the hoof sold up to $1.20 this week, and a lot of sales. So we're just seeing all this build up going right into the 4th of July. Regional weighted averages this week in the north central states, a 7-weight steer cost you $224.12 compared to $213.21 last week and $144.04 a year ago. Note, we're $80 higher than a year ago. On your 6 weights, south central region, $230.77 this week, $222.50 last week, and $144.14 a year ago. Down in the southeast, a 5-weight steer cost you $232.57 compared to $225.84 last week and $139.69 a year ago. We're not going to have a video next week due to 4th of July holiday. We'll pick up all the sales the following Friday. So from the Regional Market News Office in St. Joe, Missouri, we'll talk to you next week.